increases his lead to 9-5.
9-5 here. Mr. Winkmann has become the aggressor here. Mr. Ensign is struggling right now. He's dealing with a 4-point margin. Once again, these bouts are up to a total of 15 touches. Mr. Ensign at this point is going to have to be a little bit more aggressive. He's going to have to try to break Mr. Winkmann up, not let Mr. Winkmann feel as comfortable, John.
Yep, Winkmann on your left, Ensign on the right. Ensign trying to take the fight to Winkmann. Winkmann being backed up into the edge of the cliff. In fact, he's been knocked beyond the final meter. 9-5 the score. There's a touch, and it goes in favor of Ensign. Ensign now cuts the lead to 9-6, and as Terrence mentioned, his coach really encouraging him.
Yes, Henry Hartunian, you can see there in jeans and the black shirt with his hands folded, standing next to the other Yale fencer, his teammate, watching them fence, encouraging his fencer. Come on, one touch at a time, one touch at a time. The score is now 9-6, so David has cut down the lead to 3. Oh, Mr. Winkmann puts it back up there, puts it back up to a four-touch lead over Mr. Ensign, John.
Highly impressive today. He's the dark horse. I bet you a lot of these fencers didn't think he'd get this far, but right now he's flirting with a gold medal bid. 10-6 is the score. He's got a 4-touch lead over Ensign. Ensign, though, once again the aggressor. This thing's really turning into a knife fight here, huh? It's 10-7 now. Actually, double touch, 11-7 in favor of Winkmann, but this is turning into quite a battle.
Once again, folks, if you see two lights, a green and a red, that indicates that both fencers have hit and that it is a double touch. Mr. Ensign at this point does not want a lot of double touches. He's awfully close to being defeated by Mr. Winkmann. 15 touches is the end of the bout, so he wants only to see a green light on that machine. If there's a green and a red, that means his opponent got a touch as well as himself, which puts Mr. Winkmann closer and closer to that 15 touch and that gold medal bout.
Meanwhile, Rosenberg is being attended to by Rick Burr on the other strip. Can there be a walkover as such as Winkmann increases his lead to 5, 12-7? Can there be a walkover or a technical knockout, so to speak?
In this sport, we do not have a technical knockout. There's not sort of a killer rule, meaning that if an opponent has a lead or is beating his opponent by a certain amount, that the bout is over or the match is over. We fence until the end. I've beaten some opponents 15-0, 15-1. Kind of feel bad doing it sometimes in the process, but it happens.
Wow, 15-0, 15-1. You bully. 12-7 the score here. Now there seems to be some sort of Ensign is looking to the director. There seems to be some sort of...
For a sign, John. He's looking for a sign.
Ensign trying to back up Winkmann, who has a 5-touch lead. Ensign lunging forward. Nice riposte there by Winkmann. Fabulous.
John's got the terminology. That indeed was a riposte. And David is just getting a little bit impatient. He's a little discouraged. There's only about probably a minute and a half left in the match. He's kind of desperate. He's got to do something here. So he was a little careless there on that last one.
Yeah, Ensign's got to throw the hatchet at this point. He's got to throw everything he's got at Winkmann. Otherwise, this bout is slipping away. There's a hit, though, by Ensign. Again, you'd have to say Ensign with a nice parry there and a riposte as well to get that touch.
Right, and this time he hit his opponent on the leg. It looked like he was going to go for the hand. And he then hit his opponent on the leg. Once again, the entire body is target. So that brings the score up to 13-8. David is now within a 5-touch lead of catching his opponent.
David Ensign on the right from Yale. Harald Winkmann from Princeton on the left. The winner will go to the gold medal round. And there was a nice one by Winkmann. It's 14-8. I tell you right now, all the lights are out. It's just a matter of crawling under the covers because this one is just about over.
You have to say that at this point, Mr. Winkmann definitely has Mr. Ensign right where he wants him. There's Mr. Ensign looking a little desperate there, John, trying to go for the gusto.
Yeah, helter-skelter.
Little helter-skelter, little Hail Mary there, trying to do whatever he can to maybe just get a few more touches on the scoreboard, maybe try to stay in the match. He's just running at his opponent at this point, just unable to score a good hit. Hartunian, the coach over there, is encouraging him to stay in the match, to keep fighting.
He just turned his back on this fighter, though, because he has seen it slip away. 14-8, Winkmann about to put Ensign on the rotisserie. Good parry there, and he lunges forward, but a nice touch there. My, just as we count him out, we're starting to wake him, and all of a sudden, Ensign comes up with a big touch, 14-9.
14-9, nice touch there. He's still in the match. You know, he could come back in this match. It would be a small miracle, but it is possible. Oh, scoring another touch. He's looking determined. He's looking real determined. He's looking very determined here, John.
Yeah, don't crawl under the covers yet. This one, it's a 4-touch lead. It's almost impossible, though, Terrence. Have you ever seen what is the most incredible comeback you've ever seen in a fencing match?
You will see, there, that's it. 15-11, but David ends it on a nice note. He fenced a good bout towards the end, just lost the bout a little bit there in the middle, and it was just too much of a deficit. We've seen comebacks as much as 9-0, John, so anything's really possible.
So Harald Winkmann of Princeton defeats David Ensign of Yale. Winkmann goes to the finals, has a shot. He's going to either get the gold or the silver here tonight. For Ensign, he's got to wait for the winner of, or the loser actually, of the bout that we're looking at now, and he will compete for the bronze medal. David Rosenberg on your right now is back. He's got the knee injury from North Carolina. On your left is Ben Millett, who had a long and tedious wait. He's from Penn State. Millett on the left. On the right is Rosenberg. It's a 4-4 score, first one of 15.
Yes, at this point it's still 4-4. Mr. Rosenberg has gotten up from his injury and is doing his best to fence. We'll have to see how well he's able to fence with this handicap now, John. He's not going to be as strong physically as he was in the beginning of this match. Hopefully, Ben Millett hitting the toe, folks. Hitting the toe once again from head to foot is valid target in this weapon. Head to foot, and there Mr. Millett is able to score a touch on the toe of Mr. Rosenberg.
Yeah, it's Rosenberg right now looks like a duck that received a shotgun blast, and it's just a matter of time before the pointer retrieves the bird's body, because he is just out there wide open here for Millett. I think Millett is a little frustrated due to that long wait, because Rosenberg's right knee is not at all well. It's a 5-4 score in favor of Millett. Millett lunging towards Rosenberg, who parries. Now he calls for time. What's up?
He's trying to straighten his weapon. One thing you're going to see Mr. Millett do a lot now is actually make low-line attacks, meaning that Mr. Millett is going to attack, actually, believe it or not, the foot and the leg of Mr. Rosenberg, partly because Mr. Rosenberg can't move either his foot or his leg as fast as he normally could since he's injured. So this is going to be a factor. You're going to see Mr. Millett try to set up some attacks to the lower half of Mr. Rosenberg's body, just because Mr. Rosenberg is going to have a hard time pushing them away. Oh no, Mr. Rosenberg going down. Oh, God, that knee, look at the pain he must be in.
That looked like a hyperextension to me. There's it looks to be under the kneecap. I said the medial collateral. I might have meant the medial crucial.
I think you're right, John. I think you're right.
Some doctors just said, I never heard of that one, John. Where's that located? But it's the muscle underneath the kneecap, Terrence, that I think then there's a lot of strain put on it for fencers, because not only are you moving forward and backward, but you're moving side to side as well. You're putting a lot of strain on knees, and if you look at the structure of knees, they're really not meant to take the abuse that human beings give them.
Right. You can see at this point, Mr. Emmett Kaidonoff is shaking the hand of Ron Miller from the University of North Carolina. They're both shaking their hands. Mr. Millett is walking up to his opponent, shaking his hands. This is really a horrible way to have to end a match, folks. This has just got not only painful, this has got to be incredibly frustrating to Mr. Rosenberg. This is a real disappointment, John, to have gotten this far in the competition here at the NCAA Championships and to have to stop fencing because of an injury. This has just got to be breaking his heart.
So Millett will go to the gold medal match versus Harald Winkmann of Princeton. Ben Millett advances due to the bout being stopped. He's from Penn State. David Rosenberg, as you can see, is down on the strip from North Carolina. He is out of the competition. The odds are he will not fence for the bronze medal as well. So we might as well award that bronze medal to David Ensign from Yale. But as Terrence just stated, it's frustrating. Boy, you get this far. You can taste the gold medal, and then your knee gives out. Now, we were talking about injuries that you could receive, not only from the blade of the weapon itself, but the damage and the destruction done to joints, whether it be ankles, whether it be knees. I guess you can dislocate an elbow in this sport if you're not careful, let alone a shoulder. And then, of course, you have the extraneous muscle pulls.
That's right, John. What happens is oftentimes the injuries are ankles, are knees. Knees are a very common injury in fencing. You'll see some spraining of hands, some of the other ligaments in the fingers and the hand that either get hit or get strained from overuse or overtraining. But once again, we do not see a lot of people being quote-unquote punctured or cut by the weapons, because the weapons are dull and the equipment that we wear provides enough protection that people do not have to worry about actually being punctured.
When it's an event as prolonged like this, we got here about noontime. We're about 7 hours into our cable cast for today. You mentioned about taking on water. Like a long-distance runner, you take on water so as not to cramp. You said that might have been the possibility, and I see the Penn State coach there who was signaling. I don't know if it's like you want to go out for a beer after the match, or he didn't take enough water. You got to get your fencer some water.
Yeah, water is a factor. We're not quite sure whether the injury looks like I would say a combination, John, of a cramp as well as probably a problem with the knee. Such a combination is pretty deadly because the fencer's cramp prevents them from fencing and often could aggravate a pre-existing knee injury, particularly because when you cramp, you begin trying to use other muscles to compensate for those cramped muscles that are no longer responding the way you would like them to.
There are a lot of knees that are operated on, or do you get a lot of scope knees in fencing?
Yeah, I'd say probably not as many as you would see in football or in a lot of other sports, but knee injuries are among the most common in fencing, and as in any sport, they're the type of injury that athletes fear the most and are the most difficult to recover from.
And we mentioned before regarding dexterity in the sport, stretching before your match or before, I guess, the day's events begin. You can't. You're so exhausted, you really can't stretch, and you don't need to stretch before every single match because you're literally sitting down for 5 or 10 minutes. It's like a basketball player checking back into the game and having to do sit-ups and stretches and go through the entire routine that he usually does in the pregame warm-up.
You can hear everyone clapping for Mr. Rosenberg as he finally stands up on his feet. This is definitely a disappointing time for Mr. Rosenberg, but his braveness and his ability to get this far are admirable, and we applaud him for that.
Yeah, he looks to be emotionally moved here, and he is done for the night. As they walk him off, we've seen some ankle injuries in this tournament. We've seen hand injuries, and now, in disgust, he unplugs himself. He's through. And his hopes for a gold medal in the men's épée are dashed due to a knee injury. And off he goes. Rick Burr will take him in for immediate treatment. So we're gearing up now for the men's épée competition final, and that should be a good one. I'm going to take Winkmann over Millett. I like this Winkmann. We saw him earlier. We didn't say much about him. He seems to be the dark horse. He seems to have everything in his game working for him. As you can see, he's being worked on by the trainer. And she's a little cutie, isn't she, as they work on his right arm. He is going to go up against Ben Millett. Now, here's Millett. If you look at Millett trying to get himself way across the way, Pete, you can see he's sitting alone. Okay, what's going through his mind, Terrence? Climb inside his head. What's he trying to do? He's just getting all dark now, and he's trying to picture the fight that's coming up.
That's right. He's probably visualizing the next match. He's centering himself, meaning that he's looking at his breathing. He's trying to get his attention to a fine focus point so that when he puts that mask on and starts that match with Mr. Winkmann, every ounce of his energy, every ounce of his attention, every muscle in his body is prepared and ready to engage in mortal combat.
Yeah, you don't go near him either. Peter Townsend said that if you came on stage while he was playing guitar, he'd probably come close to killing you like he did to Abby Hoffman in Woodstock. And right now his coach is going over to Ben Millett. That's where you leave this fencer alone. The coach will say, he knows what to do. He's just going to say a couple of words of encouragement, turn around, say, no problem, Ben has handled it, as Ben Millett preps himself for the men's épée final. So he's going to take on Harald Winkmann from Princeton. Winkmann just below us. So there's the announcement. Rosenberg withdrawn. So Winkmann and Millett getting ready to duel here. They're going to drop the white glove and go. Millett has had his psych up. And we're going to have a good old-fashioned punch-up here. This is going to be a good one for the men's Épée gold medal.
This should be a great match. I'm going to take Mr. Millett in this match. I think Mr. Millett is a very physical fencer. He does not have the reach. He doesn't have the strategy or the tactics that Mr. Winkmann has. But I think he's going to be fired for this bout, John. And if Mr. Winkmann's not ready to fight a little bit, if he thinks he's going to fence a strategic bout like he did with David Ensign, he might get surprised in the beginning of the bout by Mr. Millett's energy and by Mr. Millett's aggressiveness.
Now, Ensign is awarded the bronze medal by default due to the medical injury to Rosenberg. Okay. Now, give me some history. What do you know of Ben Millett? Do you know anything about Winkmann from competition? You shake your head. So, obviously, he's a dark horse. He's come out of nowhere for Princeton, and he's fared well. He had to get to this gold medal round, though, via his teammate, as did Millett. So that's kind of interesting when we set up this final 8, so to speak. The two guys that had to face off and doing their own teammates end up in the gold medal match. Kind of ironic.
That is ironic, and now we will see these the Princeton and the Penn State fencer face off in Mortal Kombat here. Right now, the Princeton coach is prepping Mr. Winkmann, John. He's talking a little bit about what to expect from Mr. Millett, how to maybe gauge his reactions.
And also, it seems to, and I noticed that they were attending to him while they were working on Rosenberg at the same time, that he's getting some sort of hamstring or a cramping problem in his right leg. One of his trainers is working on him, whereas Millett looks ready to go. He's just walking around, staying away from other human beings, getting ready. Let me fight. And he wants in on it, and he wants in on it now. What can you tell me about Millett?
Well, right now, Mr. Millett did not have to fence a full match there. The score was only 5-4 or 4-4 against Mr. Rosenberg. As a result, he has a little bit more energy. He did not have to work as hard. Mr. Winkmann's been fencing all day. Fatigue is he's been fencing hard. Fatigue is probably a slight factor. That's why the coach is working on his muscles, trying to get that muscle nice and relaxed, so it's ready to perform the way that Mr. Winkmann wants it to.
So we're getting ready for the men's Épée final. You can hear the Penn State cheer. They're getting ready. They want Ben Millett. As Winkmann is getting prepped. This is the gold medal bout.
Penn State is going to be loud and furious here, folks. Yesterday they won a gold medal. They are used to being in that gold medal spot. They really want it. Mr. Millett is firing up. You can see him saying yes. You can see himself psyching himself up, getting up that adrenaline. Like I said, John, Millett is a fighter. Mr. Winkmann is a little bit more of the cagey, smart, calm fencer, right? So this is going to be an interesting matchup.
Now, he finished 10th last year in the individual championship at 8-8, so he was ranked 10th coming into this event. Winkmann, as we said, a relatively unknown from Princeton, as he is getting now. We're having a problem here as they check out the equipment.
What's happening here, John, is the reel, and this is that tether or that line that attaches the fencer to the electronic box. They have changed the reel to a reel that is working better than the one that was there before. The fencer is now being hooked up, being attached to that tether line. The director is just checking to make sure that the equipment is correct, and the coaches are helping the fencer pick out a weapon and fasten himself into the equipment.
Yes, that we must tell you, folks, there is a leash law in fencing. But there used to be a kid in my neighborhood by the name of George Waters who was just feisty and too much sugar-coated cereal. Anyways, he one day bit the mailman, and they forced to put him on a clothesline with a running loop, a tether as such, so he couldn't run off and bite postal workers. Now that I look in retrospect, that they should have let him off the tether. Boom. So we're getting ready. Ben Millett on the left, wearing number 587 from Penn State on the right. Harald Winkmann from Princeton, number 597. We're underway. This is for the gold medal in the men's Épée competition.
Just for our viewers, the two people standing at either end are what are called floor judges. For this gold medal match, it being an important match, we have judges that stand at either end of the strip, and they are the eyes to see if one of the fencers, by accident, hits the side of the strip.
You've just been told to quiet down. This is like a tennis match almost. It's a gold medal match. Neither fencer has made any sort of contact. They're just standing like boxers, just walking around the ring, trying to feel each other out.
That's right.
Nerves of steel.
That's right. At the beginning part of the bout, they're trying to feel each other out. You'll see the fencers move up and down, push and pull, cat and mouse. They're trying to vie and jockey for a position on the strip to see who's going to be the aggressive one. This is really a psychological part of the bout, John, this beginning part of the bout.
Almost like a cycling race where it's not to your advantage to take the lead. They're just feeling each other out before it gets underway. This is the longest we've seen without a touch in any battle, and of course, it's the gold medal match. Once again, Winkmann from Princeton on your right, Millett from Penn State on your left. This is for the 1994 Men's Épée NCAA Championship in fencing.
They fenced hard all day to get here. So at this point, they just want to take their time. They want to not make any careless mistakes. They want to force their opponent into making the first mistake. That's why you're seeing this careful fencing here at the beginning of this match.
And the winner will succeed Ben Atkins from Columbia as the men's Épée champion. Still, no touches, not even one lunge. Winkmann on the right, Millett on the left. Millett is like a caged tiger, even though Winkmann is literally the Princeton Tiger, because of the match against Rosenberg, where it stopped at 4-4, and due to the knee injury to Rosenberg. So again, I haven't seen this, Terrence. I mean, we've been here for 2 days, and I have not seen this long of a wait. Both fencers are very, very deliberate.
That's right, John. They are taking their time. They don't want to make a mistake. The beginning of the match sets a pace for the entire bout. If one fencer were to rush off and be a little bit too hasty, try to make a premature touch that they don't set up, it could give an advantage to the other fencer, make the other fencer feel very confident in the early going.
As I stated before, like two race cars drafting against each other. You make the first move. No, you make the first move. No, you do it. I'm not going, you do it. And they just want to feel each other out. Winkmann, as I said, the dark horse. Nobody expected him to be here. Both of these combatants had to go through teammates in order to get to the final round.
Now, I'd say Mr. Millett is not very natural with this sort of game. He is really a caged animal. He likes to be aggressive. He likes to come out hard and fast. Mr. Winkmann is, there we go. Folks, we had 3 minutes without a touch being scored. Mr. Millett kind of looks in dismay, can't believing that he actually went 3 minutes without scoring in aggressive action, but that was the case.
And the true fencing fan applauds with great delight, because that's good fencing when there's not a touch, when nobody's done anything. Even though in boxing you'd say there'd be stuff in the ring by now, but not in fencing. That just tells that the two fighters, the two fencers, are trying to feel they respect each other, but they want to see if they can find some sort of chink in the armor of the other opponent.
It really is a mind game, John. It doesn't look like anything's going on out there, but neither fencer. I'd say at this point, Mr. Millett is going to want to come out a little bit aggressive, because Mr. Winkmann's very comfortable in being that patient. So I think without rushing or being too hasty with any sort of aggressive action, Mr. Millett needs to start pressuring Mr. Winkmann. Otherwise, Mr. Winkmann will just take his time, and he'll score one touch in the course of 9 minutes and control the entire bout, John.
What about the style of the two swordsmen facing off? Millett, as you said, he thrives on the aggressiveness, and I'm sure that played on his patience in order to hold back like that. Winkmann, it seems, a little tentative. I don't think he realizes it hasn't hit him yet that he's in the gold medal final, that he didn't expect to go this far. Well, we're ready for the second round. Again, Ben Millett from Penn State on your left, wearing 587 on his mask. On your right is Harald Winkmann from Princeton. No touches scored in the first round.
That's right, no touches scored. We're here in the second 3-minute period. Mr. Winkmann is on your right from Princeton University, Ben Millett from Penn State University. So far we've had a very tentative match here, a match that has been one of mind, each fencer trying to feel the other one out. And let's see if Mr. Millett decides to become a little bit more aggressive in this period.
Winkmann has the bend in his épée closer to the bell guard, if you notice, and it seems that Millett's bend is ever so slight. In fact, there's just a slight exaggeration towards the end of his. And you can see now Millett trying to strut towards Winkmann. Winkmann cautiously approaches him. This is amazing. Not one touch. Just we had a few slight parries, a few slight lunges, but not one touch yet. This is like a 0-0 hockey game.
This is a 0-0 hockey game, or a lot like a soccer game where you just see the ball being passed back and forth among the players. Neither team able to get into any sort of scoring position. You know, John, it takes both fencers in order for a touch to be scored. In other words, one fencer has to either make a mistake or put themselves in a vulnerable position. Right now, neither one of these fencers is putting themselves in a vulnerable position. This is the gold medal match. Neither one of them wants to either make a mistake or perhaps even risk getting a touch.
That's right. Looks like they're fencing in a mirror, doesn't it? Right now, Winkmann backing off. Winkmann has the wider of the stance. He's got the height advantage as well, and I hazard a guess to say that he's probably got about an inch or 2 inch reach on Millett.
John, I remember watching the 1984 men's senior, this is not the collegiate, but the U.S. Senior National Championships, in which an entire 10 minutes went without a touch being scored for the national championship. And there was only one touch scored, and that was at the end of like 12 minutes.
Well, I figure it'll either go that way, or the first touch is just going to open up the floodgates, and there will be a barrage. You're going to see something out of an Errol Flynn movie in just a few moments. Now, Winkmann trying to carry the fight to Millett.
A little surprised. I must admit that I'm surprised that Mr. Millett is being so patient. Perhaps Emmett Kaidonoff, his coach, instructed him not to be too aggressive in the beginning of the bout, to wait for Mr. Winkmann to become impatient. But Mr. Winkmann is definitely comfortable in this patient position. Mr. Millett is not used to being this patient, but at the moment is doing a pretty superb job of just not taking any unnecessary risks. And there we go, folks. The second 3-minute period has elapsed without a score being touched. So the audience themselves are a little dismayed that essentially that these two guys haven't messed it up yet, haven't bloodied their noses up, haven't engaged in any mortal combat. But they're sooner or later, folks, they are going to have to get down and get dirty.
No fencer from Penn State has ever won the NCAA Fencing Championship in the Épée class. The last time somebody from Princeton won was in 1956. So you're going to see a lot of tradition being broken here. One of these fighters will go on and win the gold medal. So we've completed 2 rounds. As you can tell by the volume of Terrence and my voice, we have to quiet down here because this is like a tennis match. This is like a golfer putting for par. You have to be quiet. You cannot distract the fencers.
There's a lot of concentration. Now, just let me inform the viewers as to what happens now. We are entering the third 3-minute period at the moment. There is no score in this match. They will fence for 2 minutes. At the end of 2 minutes, John, the scorekeeper will raise his hand indicating that 2 minutes have elapsed, and the fencers then will have 1 minute to fence. If at the end of that 1 minute the score is still tied or there hasn't been any touch scored, they will enter a sudden death of 1 minute.
The director for the fight?
Director is Sándor Kiss, also from Hungary.
So no score. We enter the third and final round. In theory, the play would have to be sudden death, literally. Millett is on the left, Winkmann on the right. Relatively no options, but we have got knocked here.
So each fencer now has got to be doing a little bit of edge. It's got to be wondering when are we going to actually mess it up? When are we going to actually try to bring out each other a little bit? It's got to be first and foremost on Millet's mind because he's not used to being this patient. Mr. Winkmann is even getting a little deeper into the guard. You can see that the fences are becoming a little bit more tense. They might be ready, John, also to mix it up a little bit more.
You've been caught in, say, a quagmire of tentativeness like this.
I've never been caught in a quagmire of tentativeness, but I have, on occasion, had to employ a very patient strategy with an opponent and take my time. It's not my preferable way of fencing. I enjoy being aggressive and fencing the bout in a fast and furious fashion. However, sometimes it is the best choice, and obviously both coaches agree that this is the best way to approach the bout.
We've just learned the way was going to make an advance on Winkmann. Time going into the third and final round. There's no score. No touches scored by either fencer. Millett being backed up. Winkmann trying to be the pedigree and making Millett a play.
This is a really good thing. Mr. Winkmann is slowly working Mr. Millett down at that end of the strip. That's going to make Mr. Millett feel anxious between having been patient for so long and now being